How does it work with copyright strikes with cover songs?
Humming? I don't know.
Yeah, even with humming, like when do you cross the line? When it's like I'm covering the song, does it just mean you can't monetize it because
I'm
it's
not
someone
sure.
else's song, or is it my rendition? Because when I'm singing "Free Keep on Rocking the Free World" with an angelic like voice, will YouTube like take it down? Like, no, 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 that's Mr. Young's. You may not have it.
Especially if you sing it better, right? You're like, no, 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 wait. Can't do this.
Just he's like somewhere off screen. He just like he perks up. Like, wait, no, I'm the young. I will sing this song. Well, we'll see. We'll keep humming to a minimum. That's as good a place as any to start, as we've propagated around the world. Gaming dads have perked up, ready to listen. Hopefully, open their beers. We're gonna get this show on the road. We are live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Girl, summer of beers.
Summer of beers.
Back.
It's like the Dumb and Dumber mock ing
Some
mer
above.
beers. We got
Wow.
this.
I think. Yeah. Wow. We're gonna need some pretty hot edits on this episode, I think. But but Summer of Beers continues. We have had some really great suggestions come on in. Anybody who has a suggestion for us to pick up, roll it over to @NewDadGaming or newdadgaming.com. We'd love to see what beers we can pick up that you other gaming dads are drinking. Myself this week, it's a little bit tangentially related to gaming. So we got Dead and Dead Rogue.
Interesting.
So Dead and Dead is the name of the beer. Rogue is the company, but gaming Rogue. Thought it was a little bit related. I did like it for that. Our brewers and distillers teamed up to show off the best of both worlds by aging Dead Guy Ale and Dead Guy whiskey barrels. Just
Wow.
now, to be clear, when I first read it, that was a bit off-putting, but Dead Guy whiskey is a brand of whiskey.
Yes.
So it's not just like, this is the whiskey barrel you
Yeah.
dispose dead bodies of in. That's more of a Halloween type of brew, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So Dead and Dead complements the flavor profile of our classic Dead Guy Ale with the oak, vanilla, and fruit notes from the whiskey barrels. It's 9%. My alcoholic torment continues this summer. Like, it's every beer I've been tasting is at least 9%.
You're getting up double digits, or at least close to. You just wrecking yourself.
I'm gonna go with a real light seltzer or something next week because it's just like so heavy. But this is delicious. So it is dark. It is thick. Like, it does have all those kind of wood, oak barrel notes from a sort of whiskey thing. So it would remind you of Innocent Gun if you've ever had that beer, which is a beer soaked in oak barrels as well. So delicious. It's really tasty. So it's kind of nice to see that when they're trying to do something finicky or funny like this, as far as oak aging and combining different versions of like two different ales, like, or two different types of spirits like this thing actually works out. Tastes great. Really liking it. Dead and Dead Rogue, nice for a gaming dad and for a gaming podcast. So check her out. What are you looking at this week, Jeff?
I'm looking at Flying Monkeys. The Mutants Are Revolting.
That's such a great name.
Which is a great name, actually a Futurama episode name. So it's kind of a cool, I don't know if there's a connection there or not, but I looked at it and I'm like, hey, I know that name. But this is out of Berrien, Ontario, so it's pretty local. But if I just read the description here, which is hilarious, it's like, from the depths of the fermenters arise hop mutant golems and pure alpha acids. We've all seen it before. Alligators of enormous size in the sewers, little turtles who grow to talk and fight crime, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, and now hop mutants from the barrage of IPAs that coat our lives. This is amazing. I love the copy.
God, man, they have such fun with it. It's the one thing about Flying Monkeys, where any beer they have is just absolute hop city. You got to be ready for it, but the fun that they have with their brands and their flavors and everything else is just a blast. Now, on flavors, like, how is it tasting for you?
Oh, if you do not like tropical flavors, do not come near this beer, because it's like biting into like anything you can think of, like a pineapple, mango, whatever like smorgasbord of melon tropical taste is all in this can. And I like it as a one-off kind of thing. It really like you do not get those pasties with this beer. This is like it will suck your lips back because it's so like that sour tropical citrus taste.
Yeah, well, they call it the crushable IPA. So I'll say that, like, with pineapple and mango, like, you've piqued my interest because I certainly love a bit more fruit in my beer during the summer months. So
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's good.
Flying monkeys, mutants are revolting. Crushable IPA. Gosh, it's just fun to say.
It's fun.
That's great.
It's like a video game name, right? It's just fun.
Nice segue, because video games and kids gaming during the summer update. So last week we had the conversation, heard from a couple gaming dads. Thanks for reaching out on our Twitter and website. But it was the battle between kids having free time, kids finally being off from school. You know, let them be kids, let them have some fun. How much gaming do you let them have?
Right.
And I'd kind of laid out a strategy where they're going to have there's going to be a time limit, and then we're going to encourage them to continue learning during the summer months. If he produces a bit of homework, like reads a French book and does some math, he can earn extra time. It is paying off, man.
Is
in
it?
spades.
Nice.
It has been fantastic so far. So he is opting into it every night, where he's like, throughout the day he knows okay, I can only play so much, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to play anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, can I read the French book now? I want to do my homework. I want to read the French book and do the math so I can go play this game.
Give you doing calculus and trigonometry by the end of the summer.
That's what it feels like. He feels like he's getting one over on us. Like,
Right.
I just have to read this French book and I'm gonna get gaming. And we're in the background like,
Suckers.
sucker, you're reading, sucker.
You're learning.
Yeah. So it's been awesome. So really excited. Like I like that he's enthused about it too. Like, he's made that connection, and it might be something we'd build upon in the school year.
Okay.
We don't do a lot of gaming during the week. With the kids, it's more of a weekend thing during school year. But I mean, if this is if it helps with his appetite to learn, as long as it's also progress, it's like treading water and not really
Right.
retaining anything, fine. But if it's actually helping with the learning, if we can sneak in an extra 30-minute game time, like, so be it, right?
Why not? I'm glad it's going well though, because my kids just got out today and they've already asked for a later bedtime. So
First
Hey.
minute. Did they wait until at least they got home? Did they wait till the next day? Like, what was the, like, arrival from home? Was it just all bets are off?
It was basically coming in the door. Hey, so it's summer hours, right? Like summer hours, like a business. Like, just we're open later, right? The sun's up, so we get to do stuff, right? So it was a request right away. Did not waste time.
Kick down the door. All right, so ice cream, going to bed really late, 6 hours of video games, right? Summer.
Works for everyone, right? I'm out of your hair. I get my little gaming time in. So
Summer 101.
lot to
Anyway,
see.
so yeah, keep those gaming stories coming in. It was really cool to hear from some gaming dads. So if you're having your own issues or luck or different strategies you worked out for how to keep kids reasonably on track and keep those gaming hours to something parents would approve of, reach out to us, newdadgaming.com, at newdadgaming. I like surprises, Jeff. I like
I hope you do.
surprises, and apparently you have one for us. I am on pins and needles.
Yeah, so this is something that I thought that I could share live on the air and get Trevor's reaction. But I will say, what game is on deck?
Oh,
What
you
would
got
be-
no. No way.
What would be next on deck in the show? So
Mm-hmm.
I went to Steam and pre-ordered a Steam Deck.
A new dad did it. It's a new dad first.
Now-
Someone bought the billet. It has been a whole couple months since one of us bought a console.
That's
Like a
right. It's
Steam
we are,
Deck. That's crazy.
we're the worst for each other. We're just like, hey, why don't you buy it? Why don't you buy it? Like, and we just work off that energy. So
Oh my word.
yeah. So this is one that again, I'm not totally committing to it in the end. Like, you put down that deposit and then they email you saying, hey, it's ready. And maybe at that time I'll switch my mind. But this was just
Yeah.
something like,
Jeff, hold on. Who on earth are you kidding?
I know, right?
In
Like-
what universe are you possibly going to not accept it?
I-
Unless you're broadcasting the next episode in a box. Like it's just, there's no way you're canceling your Steam Deck purchase.
No, we can write it off on this show, so it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But it's something that I've looked at for a while. I think we both looked at it. It looks enticing. It looks like something that would just. I love the Switch and how the mobile portability of that works. And I bought a lot of games. We talked last week on how the Switch is just a good form factor for me to play as a dad. When the TV's taken, or the kids are out, or whatever. It's just something that I can take with me and have that experience, which is great. Why not up that experience and have the premium version?
Oh my word. That is
So.
Oh, that's stunning. That's so fantastic. I want to know I'm so curious to see what the experience is like as a dad with two gaming sons
Yeah.
who are going to want to get their like little mitts all over it. So and just how it enables you. So like Jeff's secret gaming sessions in the closet, Jeff's secret gaming sessions outside. Jeff's
Yeah.
in the car waiting for soccer practice to finish with a Steam Deck.
Well, I kind of want to like write it off to them, like, oh yeah, you remember I was talking about the Game Gear? That's just one of these. It's really old. Don't look at it.
Look how big it is.
You don't even know. It doesn't. No, that's not Elden Ring on there. No, it's not. It's like Sonic. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna say, if you really want to fool them, you just bring up some GBA ROM
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Game Gear ROM, even better. Look
Well-
at these graphics, so chunky.
Part of this too is the emulation capability, and I'm just saying, Wind Waker is there for me. I'm not saying that.
Finally, you did it.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. There's just a lot of options. It looks great.
That's a great question. Like, what gaming dad finally getting a Steam Deck? Like, what are you actually like the most interested in? It's almost on the basically it's on the way to your house. Like it's close to shipping, right?
Basically, Gabe Newell is in his car driving it
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
So you pull the trigger and you hit the button. Like, what are you enticed the most about playing? Like, what are you excited to play on this thing?
Well, it actually stemmed from a couple weeks ago when I was playing with my kids through Steam, one of our games, and I saw the library of stuff that I don't play anymore and would love
Like,
to.
I own what?
I own everything. Like, there's a lot of games there, and we talk about backlog, but like, I never count my Steam library, and I don't know
Yeah.
why. It just sits there off in a corner saying "Play me," but I never look at it because it's too much. But I saw those games. I'm like, you know what? This would be just fun to play, like Half-Life. Just jumping into Half-Life, and then I was looking at the sales. Like now, it's the Steam Summer Sale. I'm like, you know what? I could buy those games that are, $80 on PlayStation and limited to their digital store, or I could get it on this, play it mobile, and have it, accessible to me. So it's kind of like that nostalgia factor of what I already have, and then the new games that kind of go on sale a little bit quicker on PC format, right? And I used to be a PC gamer, and I kind of like had kids, and the gaming for PC went away, and I got into work. So that's kind of like that lost part of me. I hope to gain that back, right? This is just filling a hole, Trevor. That's all it is. The void.
Do like the dipping into. I'm not so far away from you. I'm definitely not getting the system. I have a gaming PC.
Right.
I don't use it as much now because my work PC or my work computer is now a Mac. But I tend every so often I'll bring out the PC for some other piece of work, and I think about that. It's just the amount of games that this thing is a portal into. Like
Yeah.
the absurd Steam library that I have. It's like my own Game Pass basically, except it's some stuff that I've
Yeah.
actually bought in years past, right?
Right.
So like the stuff you could just like rip through from that old stuff, like and I'm not so far away. So the thought that like you have this hardware that enables you and almost like prompts you to finally revisit some of these old games that you kind of forgot about.
Yeah, I think that's a big selling point for this machine, just for gaming dads. And I talked about emulation before, and I don't think Valve appreciate that it's out there, but it's doable, and there's a lot of stuff that can happen with this machine and customize it, right? So I think there's just a lot of options. It's like the Switch was a gateway into this machine, right? Like this is like, oh, this could do it so much better. Like Nintendo's great; they have their own games in space, but like this just takes it to that next level where it just opens doors, and it will get me gaming a lot more, and probably like expand my library even more. I don't know. Like we'll see. I don't know. I have to get it in my hands first.
It's gonna be fun watching how you handle Steam summer sale now. With the knowledge, it's like, wow, this is only $5, and I got the Steam Deck coming.
Right.
Time to spend.
That's right.
You're gonna have a massive summer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was big. Okay, that is a huge surprise. I was okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little scared you were gonna say you were pregnant again.
Oh God, no.
the way you started to
Oh.
introduce it, it's like
Oh.
it's not a zero chance.
Right.
What he's about to say is like,
There's always a threat. Yeah.
oh boy. I was like, wow, that is some news. Player 4 is
Man,
entered the
no hitting the reset button, Trevor. That is it. I'm done.
Oh, so well, fascinating, man. You got to keep us posted.
Yeah, I will.
So same type of thing. If any gaming dads have dipped in and purchased the Steam Deck and have some early reviews or recommendations for Jeff on his pending update, if he takes it, yeah, right. Who knows?
I'm not sure.
Then do reach out to us at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. So a game you could consider picking up for that would be Fortnite, and the reason you might want to do that is it seems to be a different game. Okay, because us coming from Fortnite, you and I are not big players in it. We had one match where we famously finished second.
Yeah, right?
Remember? The New Dads teamed up. We almost won.
We almost did.
And we gave up and never tried again.
Go ahead on top. We almost made it.
But I will say to any gaming dad out there listening, probably when I say Fortnite, the first thing you're thinking is much the same that I am. Okay, 14-year-olds, amazing at this game, building ridiculous structures within a minute, dying and like not knowing where I'm going, then I die. Then I have to wait like 10 minutes to get back in.
Right.
Right? Like there's this, just even within gamer culture too. Right? You just mentioned Fortnite, and a not insignificant segment just like like roll their eyes, like cast it off, right?
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah.
But what got it into me is read an article from a journalist named Danielle Riendeau, who I followed before. She used to be on the Idle Thumbs podcast, and very good, like very interesting podcaster and journalist. Besides, she got back into Fortnite, and she would I would put her in the category of very much being a Fortnite hater is the wrong word because she just came by her reviews honestly, but disliked Fortnite. Much like maybe you considered you and I would be not even. You and I don't hate it. It's just it's not our cup of tea.
Right.
Okay, I finally summarized that well. She's very much in that same camp, but she releases this wonderful article about it where she's totally in a summer of Fortnite. The new season is called Chill, just Fortnite Chill. And she says, the game is still there. And what I expected when I opened it up was to be the same maniac teenage boy nonsense building, immediate death silliness. But instead there's these side quests and there's kind of like some silly stories and there's activities to do and then there's concerts and then people team up and there's all this fun, silly, interesting, enjoyable stuff. And it was kind of remarkable to me just to kind of get this glowing review from somebody I know that has had the same type of experience that we had that says, I'm really into this game. This thing has evolved. It's becoming interesting. Like, have you caught any, whispers on the wind about like these new seasons now? Or like, what's your kind of perception of this game at this point?
Honestly, when you fall behind in something and it's so difficult to figure out where they're at, I feel like Fortnite just took off and they have all these seasons and all these great things going on. But I don't know at what point it kind of circled back and became something totally different, right? Like, so I see it out in the wild there, but I never keep tabs on it. But we're watching footage now, and man, it turned really colorful. And there's jet skiing now and stuff, like crazy things that does pique my interest to get back in and just see what this. It's almost like a theme park now, right? It's just like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. You can participate, and it's less about the original, build walls and shoot everybody. I'm sure that's still there, but it just seems like a different vibe now.
Yeah,
It's
it's not so much about the teenage deathmatch sort of thing. It seemed to have given away to, and you and I were talking about this before the show started. It just largely, my feeling would be, it feels like they've kind of come back to more casual players. Not back to, that's the wrong word, but they're trying to entice casual players. Like people like you and I wouldn't play it normally, right? If it was the same crazy competitive experience that it was. And instead now they just seem to be embracing this. It's like, no, let's just create something where a lot of people can have a lot of fun. Lean into the silliness, lean into the irreverency of it all. And let's create some experiences for people who aren't going to be able to have that twitch finger build the skyscraper kill 30 noobs type of thing, and instead just have some crazy big fun stuff. Like, let's expand, let's go nuts. Let's take all of the billions we rake in every month and see what we can do to build a game for everybody. Right? So it's almost like just trying to court the... I feel like it's just trying to court everyone who would push it aside.
Yeah.
Said, like, no, come back and have some fun.
Right.
Am I lagging or are you lagging? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry for anyone live. We just got some tech difficulties here. We'll get Jeff back on and get going.
Hold on.
And now it's the Trevor Show. Well.
I'm back.
Thought I could get rid of you, but here we are.
I was busy just checking the door to see if the Steam Deck arrived. So
Thought I heard the doorbell. I had to leave real quick.
I can't miss it.
Literal live episode.
Yes.
It's like Steam Deck.
Yes, sorry about that.
No worries at all. So was it your internet or mine?
I don't know. You went blank. I could see you and hear you though. So
Yeah, I was catching like every 2 words you were saying, and then there was like just nothing.
nothing.
Okay, we'll try to power through here. So the thing I had just said was it seems to be leaning into the irreverency of it, the fun of it. We have billions being made every month.
Yes.
So what can we do to, build, like, keep the aspects of the competitive nature so that those who get a thrill off of that are still like entertained, but also just bring everybody back in and say like, no, this is fun for everybody. Let's all have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems like one of those games where like every idea is on the table, right? Like
Nice, yeah.
It doesn't look like they throw anything away. They just incorporate it down the line, and I think that's part of its charm. Is charm the right word? I don't know.
Yeah,
It just seems like its unique ability to kind of just throw anything out there and just have fun, right? And I think we do lose that a little bit in gaming. Was just a sense of fun. Like not everything has to link together. Not everything has to have some sort of crazy arc or connection. It can just be hilarious fun. But they do have to be careful about, like, they don't want to alienate their hardcore side. Like, I don't want to say that they're going to stray too far. But it's nice that they're trying to include different audiences, right? So
I wonder, like at the same time, like mobile game, like any gamer, like hashtag hardcore gamer, right, would poo-poo mobile gaming in its entirety, right? It's like, oh, my like aunt plays Farmville on Facebook, meh, or whatever else it is, right? But that industry rakes in such absurd, obscene amounts of money, right? And like the pro scene, it's like a couple thousand guys who are very good, guys and girls who are very good at it. That's you know what I mean? Like as much as there is somebody who wants to be the best of the best and challenge it, there's a lot of more people who grew up with gaming who just want to have a good time.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to summarize it, right? Like just they're trying to appeal for a wider scope of gamers there, and that other hardcore side of it is always going to be a part of it. But there's a space for that.
Yeah. No, I think they could do both. It's basically just like the core gameplay is difficult to master and very precise. Like if you're going to be the best of the best, you have to dedicate practice. Like you got to have the skills. But for the rest
No
of
dad
us,
time. You gotta like. That's gonna be my kids all summer. They're like, I really want to be a Fortnite champion. You need to let me have all these hours of screen time, and they're gonna have a business case. I'll wait for the PowerPoint.
but for the rest of us, it's Darth Vader. Whee!
Exactly.
So yeah, so I'm gonna say like I downloaded it to the PS4 of all things. Just wanted to make
at
use of
you.
my system on loan here to give it a shot. But I'm gonna dive in. I'm curious to give it a play a few times this week and see. I don't want to say if it hooks me or not, but if just like what it's like to can someone who kind of bounced off of it and its seriousness and its difficulty, I bounced off it hard. Can it capture me again? Would this be a game that maybe I'd want to play a bit more?
I mean, as we watch Indiana Jones, Spider-Man, and Darth Vader all in the same clip, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Like,
There's a lot. I'm gonna see how they'll like slowly bring me in.
right,
So
right.
So if anybody wants to read the same article that it's a short read. It's on Fanbyte, Fanbyte by Danielle Riendo. She's a excellent reporter. Titled "I'm Glad Fortnite is So Chill in 2022."
Okay.
So it's an interesting read because again, it's just people who bounced off. It's like I'm surprisingly liking this now.
Yeah.
Now bouncing off, surprisingly liking it now. That sounds a lot like Magicka 2, the game, which I'd seen before, which had a wild difficulty curve, but it's something that you and your son apparently are getting into.
Yeah, this is one of those games that we bounced off years ago. It was part of PS Plus at some point, but you can get it pretty cheap. And it's just something that was far too complicated, or it was far too different from other systems out there. So Magicka 2 is basically, I don't want to say Diablo, but it's Diablo style. I don't think there's any classes or anything, but you're a mage or wizard with spells, and the way that your spells work is that they're all elements, and you have to combine them on the fly to create either a defensive or a weapon or like some sort of like potion or health generation. And a few years ago, that was way too much for my probably 6-7 year old. And we came back to it. They're 9 now, and it has been a blast. This is just a fun system, and it does take a good, I think it took us 15-20 minutes to really understand what was going on. That being said, we did skip the prologue, but it's like not reading the instructions. You're like, no, let's just get into the game.
Let's just play.
Right, but like we got in there, we just started experimenting, having fun. We again, the whole system is different from just like mashing buttons. You have to make these combinations out of, I think, 4 or 5 total elements, and they all mix together to make different crazy things. And we were just discovering new things. Like, so the system is wide open, and you can do a lot with it. Like, you could put ice and water together and make an ice wall, or you can put water and poison together and you make a poison spray that you're spraying at enemies, right? Like, it's just it's just nuts. And there was lots of laughs. That hasn't happened in a while with a game kind of like this, right? It was just like hilarious fun. It's totally not styled that way. Like, there's blood. Like, you throw a rock at a person, there's going to be a blood trail. So it is violent that way. But again, lots of laughing, which is funny to say after that. But it was just something that it hit the spot, and it just took a couple of years to get back in, like, to leave it and then come back to. And it's just kind of a fun thing to look at, where those games that you might not have liked a couple of years ago, maybe give them another shot. Maybe it's that time where you can really sit down and learn it. But this is fun. There is friendly fire in it though, and you can't turn that off. So
That's a
that
bit
could
too
be
bad.
a sticking point for kids. Just
Yeah,
saying.
dad and son, and kid game time, that could be a little bit contentious, but
Yeah, siblings. I'm more like the
Oh,
sibling
that would
thing.
be-
You'd just be like, "Why'd you kill me?" Now you can resurrect anytime. Like there's no lives, especially on that difficulty we're playing. You can resurrect infinite amount. But it is hilarious and it's a pretty good game. I would suggest just looking at it and testing it out. I believe there's a demo in a lot of systems, so just trying it out.
good recommendation. Yeah, I remember the writing being very sharp, like legitimately
Yes.
funny, like well written, and then
Yeah.
it's such a fascinating game loop compared to unique. I've never seen anything like it. Like it's about one of the most unique kind of fighting things I've ever seen put together. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that you the two of you have gotten into it. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's different, and we'll see how long this lasts. Again, we're on like this Diablo kick where we're like finding anything and everything kind of fits into that realm. So we're trying out a whole bunch of stuff.
Whatever
Yeah,
whatever's not Diablo Immortal at this point. should
that's
be fun.
right. That's right. Yeah.
You know where that game's gonna work great
Where? What?
on a Steam Deck.
Oh, that's right.
It's gonna look real nice on a Steam Deck. I'm just saying.
There you go.
So it's all worthwhile. All right, everybody. We'll wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the show, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. So we're talking iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcasts. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you do find us on there, what really helps the show is we try to cast out a wider net to as many gaming dads as possible. We're just trying to help people sell Steam Decks, really. Like that's
Really, we are.
we're just supporting the console industry, one dad purchase at a time. So, but can't really overstate it, the amount that it helps the show if you subscribe to the show on those platforms, and also if you leave a rating. That really helps boost the signal, gets the word out to any other gaming dads who are listening. If you do want to get a hold of us, we'd love to hear from you. Interacting with fans have been one of the best experiences the last couple of years. You can find us on Twitter at NewDadGaming or NewDadGaming.com. If you have game recommendations for Jeff and his shiny new Steam Deck
That's right.
en route. If you have beer picks for our summer of beer, we'd love to hear from that. If you have a gaming strategy with your kids for these difficult summer months, love to hear that too. We just really love interacting. So newdadgaming.com at newdadgaming. Everyone, thank you so much for listening once again. This is New Dad Gaming, and until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and maybe a Steam Deck.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I swear, like, in what universe are you going to turn it down when it says it's on its way unless you push this button?
But never. There's no universe. There's no multiverse
just-
that would have a Jeff that would be like,
You know what? No, I'm going to put this in an RRSP instead.
that's right.
I'm going to top up my 401k like an adult.
No, the world is burning. Let's have fun in it.
Dad, Papa, why can't I go to school? Well, son. Well, Steam Jack Jr. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. And remember, just because you became a dad.
Does not mean it's game over.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.